This question is from grade 13 March 2017, grade 13 second term paper, and electricity essay. First question, using the definition of electromotive force of a battery. Now, electromotive force is the voltage which is marked on the battery. Now, when you see a battery, in that there are different types of batteries. So in the battery, there will be an indication of how much voltage it is. It is 1.5 volt. If it says 1.5 volt, the battery, that means that is its electromotive force. Electromotive force does not necessarily have to be the voltage given out by the battery. That does not necessarily have to be the voltage. Battery can't give a voltage above this, but sometimes it might give the same voltage, or sometimes it's going to give less voltage, because there can be some energy losses, right? So if you want the definition for electromotive force it is defined similar to voltage. Now voltage, voltage is work done per unit charge. Now, electromotive force is energy provided per unit charge. A battery is a source of energy. Electromotive energy provided per unit charge. That is the definition for electromotive force. Energy provided per unit charge. The battery is an energy source, so it is going to provide energy for the charges released from the battery. Then the charges get the ability to move. And now, if you simplify this, for electromotive force, we usually use the symbol capital E, and for energy, okay, I'll just say energy divided by charge, that is Q. So energy is actually equal to electromotive force into Q. Careful, energy, E is not energy now, E is electromotive force, right? They have given in the listening. And then either side you divide by time, like we derive the equation for power. Then what do? Energy consumed or energy released divided by time, divided on the other side, E into, I'll divide charge by time. And we all know what is charge by time, or energy by time. First of all, what is energy by time? That is actually power, and equal to electromotive force into, when you divide charge by time, it will give you current, I. Okay, amount of charge flowing per unit time is what you call current. So EI is the equation. So we have derived it, small derivation. The equation for the power dissipated in a resistor are P equal I squared R and P equal V squared OR with usual notations. The first suggests that P increases with R, while second suggests that second suggests the opposite. Resolves the apparent contradiction. Oof, okay. So what is this all about? What is this all about? Now, power dissipation, correct? Now, power dissipation is this. Now, power dissipation is actually when you have a resistor. Let's say there's a circuit with a battery, and then there's a resistor. Battery, and then there's a resistor. There's another resistor. I'll just put two resistors, but I'll just consider this resistor first, R. Across that there is going to be a voltage, and through that there's going to be a current. All right. So we know the equation for power dissipation here is actually given by power is equal to VI. Okay, that is what we change to I squared R and I squared R and V squared OR. All right. So what we need to understand is this. From these two equations, the comparison is going to happen like this. Now, when you increase resistance, when R increases, what will happen to current through the resistor? Current through the resistor is going to reduce. And similarly, when you increase the resistance, what will happen to the voltage across the resistor? What will happen to the voltage across the resistor? That will, when the voltage across the resistor, will, when you increase the current, increase. Voltage across the resistor is going to increase. Okay. All right, people. So what happens is power now. Now, what should I explain you? Okay, resolve this apparent contradiction. Now, so we have to say it doesn't work that way. Let me explain. Okay, how do we explain it qualitatively? I can explain that with a small example. Now, let's say you have a battery like this, and then you have two resistors like this. Okay, one is a variable resistor R, and the other one is a fixed resistor. Let's say it is 4 ohm, something like that. 4 ohm. No, let's say it's 3 ohm, and this is 12 volt. Okay, right. Now R, I'm going to do something like this. Now when R is equal to 1 ohm, right? When R is equal to 1 ohm, people, what is the current in the circuit? What is the current in the circuit? Current in the circuit is going to be V over R, that is 12 over 4, and that is going to be 3 ampere. Then power across R, power dissipation across R, what's happening there? That will be what, I squared R. So I squared is 3 squared into 1, that is 9 watt. 9 watt. And if you use the equation power equals V squared over R, now for V squared, what should I be substituting? I should be substituting the voltage across that resistor. Voltage across that resistor is going to be 1:3. So 3 volt will be across that. So 3 squared over 1. That is still 9 volt, 9 watt. Right. And when you increase R, what happens? Let's say R is now 3 ohm. When R is 3 ohm, what's going to happen? When R is 3 ohm, current is going to be how much? V over R. The total voltage in the circuit is 12 and the total resistance is 6 this time. And that is 2 ampere. All right. And well, power now, that is I squared R. So that is 2 squared into R is how much now? 3. And that is 12 watt this time. 12 watt. And power equals V squared over R. V square, this time you have to put the voltage across this resistor. So 12, now we have 3 and 3, then 6 volt will be here. So that is 6 squared over 3. That is also 12 volt. So how are we going to explain this in the right? It's like this, guys. What you have to say is, when R, now listen, this is what you have to, this is how you have to explain. My point is this. Now power is equal to I squared R, power is equal to V squared to R. Now they are saying in this one looks like power is directly proportional to R. In this one it looks like power is inversely proportional to R. No, the case is, you have to say, when R changes, I changes accordingly. When R changes, V changes accordingly. Okay, so it's like this. When here, what happens when R changes? R reduces. When R reduces, I will increase. Therefore, you will get a value for power. Here, when you reduce R, V will also reduce. V will also reduce. So what you have to say is, in these two equations, I and V depend on R. This argument is correct. Now, the first suggests P increases with R, while the second suggests opposite. Now, you can surely say that when I squared and V squared are constants when you change R. But the problem is, when you change R, that means when you change the resistor of that particular resistance of that particular resistor, what happens? I and V change accordingly. Therefore, this argument is incorrect. You have to say that. Next question. The current in the starter motor of a car is 160 ampere when starting the engine. The connecting cable has a total length of 1.3 meter and consists of 8 strands of wire, each diameter 1.2 millimeter. The resistivity of metal of the strand is 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. Calculate the resistance of each strand. The connecting cable has total length of and consists of 8 strand of wire. Okay. Okay, then what? How do you find the resistance, people? Resistance equal to rho L over A, correct? So rho, for rho you should substitute this value 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 8 multiplied by L. L is 1.3 meters, 1.3 divided by area. What did you use for area? Now they have given us diameter. Therefore, you have to use pi d squared by 4. Pi d squared divided by 4. Now they have not given a value for pi. Can't help. So we'll have to use 22 by 7 into pi d squared, where 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 3 squared into 104. This is the equation, and this, if you simplify this, you will get the value for resistance. Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of work, I think, no? A lot of work. God. Right, so let's do it. 14 to 1 balance 4. 14. That is 281. 182. 1.82. And you have to multiply that by this 7 into 4 goes up 28. So 182 into 28. 6, 1 balance, 5, 6 balance, 14. 2 into 2, 4. 6, 1 balance, 3. 6905. So I'm getting 28 in that. So 50.96 into 10 to the power minus 8. And you divide it by 22 into 1.2 squared is 1.44 into 10 to the power minus 6. Right, so 50.96 divided by this. 50.96 divided by 22 into 1.44. 1.44 into 22. 288, 288, 8613. Okay, 31.68. So 50.96 must be divided by 31.68. 50.96 divided by 31.68 into 10 to the power minus 2. All right. So final answer, dividing 5096 by the 3168. Do we get a very small value? Okay, 1.3 meters. Okay, yeah, correct. 1.2 millimeter, very small, right? Yeah, diameter, millimeter. Okay, fine. And then 1, 3168, 8, 2. 9, 19,000. I think I can see 6 in that. 6. So I'm going to settle to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 2. I'll go for another decimal place then. Okay. 8, 4 balance 0, not the 4 balance 0. 1 balance 19. Okay. 280. Sorry. 172. That, nothing. Okay. 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 2 ohm. Getting this answer. The connecting wire has total length of 1.3 meters, consists of 8 strands of wire. 8 strands of wire. It consists of 8 strands of wire. That means this is how they will look like. If you take the connecting cable and if you cut the outer casing, then this is how the strands will be. So you can see they are in parallel to each other. Therefore, if you want the total resistance, what you need to do is you need to consider parallel connection and get the answer. What is the power loss in the cable? What is the power loss in the cable? Now you can use this equation, right? Power is equal to I squared R. I squared R. Well, I is given to you 160 squared. So 160 into 160 multiplied by the resistance. That is 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Wait, I'll write the answer here. Roman 3. 160 into 160 into, what is it, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. 16 into 16 is 256. 256 00 into 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Final answer, 51,200. Okay, 51.2 watt. 51.2 watt. Okay, right. 51.2 watt. When the starter motor is used to start the car, 800 coulomb of charge pass through a given cross section of the cable. Assuming that the current is constant at 160 ampere, calculate for how long the charge flows. That's easy, no? Yeah. What do you do there? Q equal IT. Electric charge is equal to electric current into time. Then electric charge is given as 800 coulomb SI unit. Current is 160 ampere into time is T. Therefore, time will be 800 divided by 160, 80 over 16. That is 5 seconds. That's all. Okay. So after the first one, everything is easy. Quickly you can get the answer, except for the first one. The first one you had to work out a little, right? Now, this is a circuit given to you about a circuit about in a vehicle. Where there's a starter motor and there are two headlamps. All right. Now, suppose that the starter motor is connected with the battery. EMF is E. EMF means the voltage marked in the battery. And internal resistance simple R. So inside that there is a resistor. That's it. You take it as another resistor connected in series with this circuit. Resistance box capital R. Ideal ammeter. Now, what is ideal ammeter? Ideal ammeter is something which has zero internal resistance. So it does not have any resistance. That's the ideal ammeter. We'll discuss about that. So we don't have to worry about its resistance, because any electrical equipment will have a small amount of resistance, people. When they say ideal ammeter, we have to assume that it has no resistance whatsoever. And two headlamps, you can see two headlamps are there, rated 12 volt and 72 watt. Now, when you say 12 volt and 72 watt, for the proper functioning of that, it requires 12 volt across that. Okay. And yeah. So, you know, for this, you can use the equation power equals VI. Power equals VI. So when you use the equation power equal VI, for power you will put 72, for voltage you will put 12, and for current we don't know the rated current. So current is going to be 72 over 12. That is 6 ampere. So you need 6 ampere of current for this to work properly, to work to its proper potential, right? 6 ampere current is required. That is the meaning of this. S1 and S2 are switches. Resistance of the starter motor is 0.25. So this has a resistance already, 0.25 ohm. So I'll mark it here. Think of this as another resistor. That's it. Neglect all the resistance. And when both S1 and S2 are open, right? I will underline this in green color. Both S1 and S2 are open and R is kept at 1 ohm. Ammeter reads 6 ampere. So when S1 and S2 are open, guys, there's no current going through this circuit. Therefore, for the green color part I have underlined, your circuit is only this. This is your circuit. Remember, now I will redraw the battery like this. What am I doing there? Yeah, I am including this is the battery. This whole thing is the battery. I'm including the internal resistance as another resistor in series with the battery. This is simple R, this is capital E. Okay, right. And then the ammeter, okay, no problem. Then the resistance. Starter motor, right, never mind. Then we move on. For starter motor, the resistance is 0.25 ohm, and this for green color case, R is kept at 1 ohm. This is 1 ohm. Simple R we don't know, capital E we don't know, but we know the current now. Ammeter reading the people, current going through this circuit, and there will be no current through the other two parts. So all the current will go to the left side. And what is the meaning of that? What is happening? Current is how much, people? 6 ampere. Current is 6 ampere. So for this, you apply Kirchhoff's second law. Sigma E equals sigma IR. Sigma E, only one battery is there in the circuit now, that is capital E. We don't know that. Equal to sigma IR. What will you do? 6 ampere current is flowing through simple R, 1 ohm and 0.25 ohm. It is flowing through all three resistors. So the equation is going to be 6 within bracket, add everything. Simple R plus 1 plus 0.25. So capital E is equal to 6 bracket R plus 1.25. First equation. I have one equation. I have two unknowns, E and R, but I need two equations. So I have written one. Okay. Then let's consider the next part. I'll use the blue color. When both S1 and S2 are closed and R is changed to 2.75 ohm, ammeter reads 8 ampere. Now the circuit is little complicated. I will use this diagram for that. Now, and when you do the question, then you have to, in your answer sheet, it's better to draw the diagram. Okay, it's better to draw the diagram. Then only you will have less confusion. So for that blue color part, I will use this diagram itself. Now the switch is on. Yeah, switch is on now. Okay, switch is on. And the thing is, they have not mentioned anything about the battery, sorry, the headlamp. So we have to assume that the headlamps are, for the proper functioning of headlamps, we need 6 ampere current through the headlamps, people. So let's go with that same current, 6 ampere current. Let's go with 6 ampere current, okay? Let's go with 6 ampere current, and through this also 6 ampere current is going to flow. And careful, the ammeter reading is this. The current going through the battery as well. Ammeter reading is how much? 8 ampere now. 8 ampere current. Oh no. Okay, wait. 6 ampere can't go flow there. Then no. Then we don't know. We can't say that. Okay, wait. Then we can't use that. Sorry. Okay, that means we have to assume that they are not functioning at the maximum current. Careful. Right. So what you can do, one more thing you can do is this. You can find the resistance of these two. How do you find the resistance, people? Power is equal to, this is the rated current. This is called the rated current. We need this much of current for them to work properly. But if there's a smaller current, they will work, but they might be dim or something like that. Now there's another equation for power, that is V squared over R. So R is V squared over power. Okay, what is V squared? V squared is 12 squared, 12 into 12 divided by power, that is 72. 12 into 12 is 144, divided by 72 is 2 ohm. 2. Okay, 12 into 12 is 144, 72, 2 ohm. So resistance is 2 ohm. Whose resistance is this? Headlamp. This is for headlamp. I'm applying this equation for headlamp. This is how you find the resistance of something if they have given you the rated power and rated voltage. So we have the resistance of each, 2 ohm, 2 ohm. Now I can't assume that current is 6 ampere because total current coming out of the battery itself is 8 ampere, people. So this we don't know. So I'll take it as I, and here also it's going to be I because these two are identical paths. Therefore, same amount of current is going to flow. All right, good. Fine. Then what is the plan? Here I. Right. R is known, right? R is known. What is the value of R? 2.75 ohm. Now, can you tell me what will be the current here? Can someone tell me what will be the current through this circuit? Tell me what will be the current through this circuit? I have to take the current going through this as I and this as I. So this side there must be 2I, correct? 2I will come like this and I will go here and the other I will go here. And then this I and this I will meet once again, and then again they will emerge as 2I, and then they come here 2I, right? And here it is 8 ampere. Now tell me what is this current? What is this current? The current going through this circuit. How much is that? That is going to be 8 minus 2I. Understood? 8 minus 2I. 8 minus 2I. That is the new current going through this part. All right. So now there are three unknowns, E and simple R and I. I already have one equation. I need to write two equations for these people. That's it. So let's name this circuit quickly. A, B, C, D, and here let's say E and F maybe. Okay. So first of all, let's apply the equation for circuit A, B, C, D, A, the loop A, B, C, D, A. Now I'm using blue color. See, blue color for this second case. Now for that, if you apply sigma E equals sigma IR, what is sigma E for that loop? Just one battery is there in the entire system, that is capital E. Equal to, for sigma IR, what should I put now? We have to be really careful. 8 ampere is going through this resistance, simple R. There is a resistance here, simple R. Right, so 8 simple R plus 8 minus 2I current is going through these two resistors. So I should write 8 minus 2I into these two are 2.75 plus 0.25. Right, fine. Then AE is equal to 8 simple R plus 8 into 3. This is 3. That is 24 minus 2I into 3. That is 6I. Okay. So I have the second equation. And then what can you do? Then both are closed, right? Okay. So then you can apply the equation for the other loop. What is that? AEFDA. AEFDA. Let's apply it clockwise. Again, sigma E equals sigma IR. Right. What is sigma E now, people? Sigma E, again E. What is sigma IR? 8 ampere is going to simple R. So that is again 8R plus, in this circuit, if you notice carefully, current I is going through the lamp. So that is 2I. That is 2I. Okay, people? Right, now what we have to find, E and simple R. Then this is the third equation I'm getting. Then I will multiply the third one by 6. Sorry, third one by 3. So third one into 3 will give me what? 3e equal 24r plus 6i. Why did I do that? To get rid of I. This is the fourth equation. So what should I do now, people? I should add second and fourth, correct? When you add second and fourth, what will you get on the left hand side? You will get 4e. On the right hand side, you will get 32r, correct? 32 simple r plus 24 minus 6i and 6i will get cancelled off. Okay. So once again, capital E is equal to, everything is divided by 4. 8 simple r plus 6. 8 simple r plus 6. Okay. And the first equation, wait a minute, I will expand the bracket, then it will be easier for us. In the first equation, E is equal to 6r plus, what is 1.75 into 6? That is 7.5. 6r plus 7.5. First equation. Good. Now I have another equation. Fifth one. 1 and 5. Then what can you do, people? What can you do? You can equate 1 and 5, right? You can equate 1 and 5. Then what will happen? When you equate 1 and 5, you will be getting 6 simple r plus 7.5 equals, on the other side, 8r plus 6. Therefore, 1.5 is equal to 2 simple r. Therefore, simple r is equal to 1.5 over 2, 0.75 ohm. That is simple r, 0.75 ohm. Then if you substitute that in the fifth equation, E is equal to 8 into 0.75 plus 6. 8 into 0.75. 0.75 is 3/4. What is 3/4 of 8? That is a 6 plus 6. And final answer for E will be what? 12 volt. It will be 12 volt. Okay. So that is how you find the values of E and capital E and simple r. So you need to plan it accordingly. One step at a time, slowly, carefully. When you substitute the values, just apply Kirchhoff's law, and you will be getting the answer. But the important thing is marking the currents, people. Now this part is very critical. No, you should understand this. Through these two, same current will flow. Why? These two are identical resistors, so current will separate equally. So if I and I are flowing through this, then here the current is 2i. That's very important, because if you make a mistake here, 8 minus 2i, then you are in trouble. Right. Calculate the following when S1 is closed while S2 is open. So if S2 is open, then there is no current through this path. Therefore, we know that path is not useful. It's useless. Therefore, let's cover that up like this. So let's say the current doesn't go there, so it's useless, right? So our circuit is restricted to only this part now, and this is closed. This is closed now. This is closed. So current will flow through headlamp X, and R is 0.95 ohm. 0.95 ohm, and if I can remember right, this is 0.25 ohm. Am I correct, people? 0.25 ohm. That's the resistance of the starter motor. Power delivered by the battery, power consumed by the headlamp, power consumed by the starter motor. Okay, now this resistance of this is 2 ohm, correct? 2 ohm is the resistance of the what? Resistance of the, come on, headlamp, right? Now, power delivered by the battery, power consumed by the headlamp, power consumed by the starter motor. Okay, fine. So for that, we need the currents. So I is the current coming out of the battery. And then let's say current going through this part is I1. Then what is the current going through this part, people? I minus I1. So here indirectly we have applied Kirchhoff's first law. I minus I1. Okay. So A, B, C, D. A, D, here E, F. So there are two paths, and how many unknowns do we have? Two unknowns are there. I and I1 are needed. I need to know the. If not, people, the wisest thing to do is to make things less complicated. I will do this. I will take the current through we'll take the current through we'll take the current through this as I2 for the time being. I2. Then it's easy for us. Then finding the final powers and all, it's easier for us. So current going through this, we'll take it as I2. Current going through this, we'll take it as I1. We'll find them separately. And we all know I1 and I2, when you add them, they should be equal to who? I. Okay. So I need to find I1, multiply it by the resistance. They are squared of that by the resistance. That will give you the power consumed in the starter motor. If you multiply square root of I2 by the resistance of the lamp, you will get the power consumed. So let's find out I1 and I2. Right. One equation is already done. So the other two equations, let's start Kirchhoff's law for circuit A, B, C, D, A in the anti-clockwise direction, right? So that is sigma E equals sigma IR. What is sigma E there? 12. Only one battery is there. One battery is there. And then IR, sigma IR, what should you do? Current I is moving through 0.75. So I will write like this. Instead of I will use I1. Okay, never mind. Let's go with that. I into 0.75 I. 0.75 I plus, and then in that you can see I1 is flowing through these two resistors, 0.95 and 0.25. So I1 into 0.95 plus 0.25. Then 12 is equal to, instead of I, let's substitute I1 and I2. Therefore, it is 0.75 I1 plus I2. Plus here we will be getting 1.2 I1. Therefore, 12 equal to 0.75 I1 plus 1.2 I1 is 1.95 I1 plus 0.75 I2. I have one equation. Then let's do the same thing for the other circuit, the other loop, A, F, E, D, A. All right. So for that, you apply sigma E equals sigma IR, one step at a time, Sigma E is 12. There's only one battery in this loop. Sigma IR, again, current I is flowing through 0.75 ohm. So instead of putting I this time, I'll just directly substitute 0.75 into I1 plus I2, the total current. Plus, now I2 is flowing through this headlamp. Therefore, it is 2I2. And what is the final value of 12 is equal to 0.75 I1 plus 2.75 I2. Okay. Right, second equation. So I think we can equate them 1 and 2. Then you will be getting 1.95 I1 plus 0.75 I2 equals 0.75 I1 plus 2.75 I2. So let's try to find an equation for I2 in terms of I1 or something like that, right? Then on the left side, I'm getting 1.2 I1. On the right side, I'm getting 2 I2. Not bad. So I2 people, that is 1.2 I1 divided by 2. Sorry, 1.2 I1 divided by 2, 0.6 I1. 0.6 I1. Right, all the equations are looking like that, can't help. So with which one shall we use? I'll go with the first equation, right? So let's substitute that in the first equation. What will I be getting? 12 equal 1.95 I1 plus 0.75 into, for I2 you can substitute this 0.6 I1. So 12 equals 1.95 I1 plus 0.75 into 0.6, that is 0.45 I1. Hope you can understand that. Now 0.75 is 3/4 of 0.6 na people. That is this. So you should not be, I think it's okay, because 12 equal, when you add 1.95 and 0.45, it is 2.4 I1. And what is I1? It's a beautiful value. I1 is equal to 12 over 2.4 people. The answer is 5. Even though it looked a bit weird, you are getting a nice answer for I1. Right? And then what is I2? How do you find I2? I2, let's go back to first equation. Then what will it give me? 12 equals 1.95 into I1 is 5 plus 0.7 I2. All right, fine. So 12 equals, what is 1.95 into 5? 1.95 into 5 is 4.75. No, not 4.75. Sorry, not 4.75. 9.75. 5 into 5 is 25. 2 balance. 9 into 5 is 45, 47, 2 balance, like this. Plus 0.75 I2. Then people finally will be getting 0.75 I2 is equal to what? 2.25. I2 is equal to 2.25 divided by 0.75. Guys, 225 divided by 75. What is it? Again, 3 ampere. When you multiply 75 by 3, 210, 15, 225. So 5 ampere and 3 ampere are the values for I1 and I2. We are not done, okay? We're almost done. We have to find, we have found I1 and I2. So I1 is that, right? I1 is, okay, so the current, this current, I1 is where? 5 ampere. I1 is 5 ampere. I2 is 3 ampere. And I, the total battery, total current coming out of the battery is 8 ampere. Okay, right. So you need to do this. You need to do this and get the value. Okay, fine. And then moving on, power delivered by the battery. Now you have to remember one thing, Roman 2a part, power delivered by the battery, you have to find this way, power delivered by battery. Okay, I'll just say A, right? You know, you have written this now. Power delivered by battery, the equation is people, power, you have to use EI. That is the power delivered by the battery, always. You have to multiply its EMF by the current, because that is the total energy provided or total power provided to the system. So that is going to be 12 multiplied by the total current, 8. That is 96 watt. 96 watt. Power delivered by a battery is determined by EMF multiplied by current, total current coming out of the battery. Okay. Power consumed by headlamp, right? B. I say power consumed by headlamp, HL. For that, you can use the equation I squared R. So what is the current going through the headlamp? 3 ampere. So that is 3 squared into resistance of the headlamp is 2 ohm. We found it already. So that is 9 into 2, 18 watt. Okay. And C part, power consumed by the starter motor. So power consumed by the starter motor, I'll put SM. Again, I squared R. Now what is the current going through the starter motor? 5 ampere. Careful, 8 ampere is this. 5 ampere is the current going through the starter motor. So you have to multiply 5 squared into the resistance of the starter motor is 0.25. 25 into 0.25, it is 6.25 watt. 0.25 is 1 over 4. 25 divided by 4, 6.25 watt. Okay, so 96 watt is generated by the battery. Out of that 96, 18 is used up here. 6.25 is used up here. Some more will be used up here. Some more will be used up where? Now 96 batteries providing 96 watt power to the circuit, people. So 6.25 watt is wasted here. Let's find this also. Next one, power dissipation in R. This one, how do you find that again? I squared R. So I squared there will be again 5 squared into this value 0.95 equal to 25 into 0.95. 25 into 0.95. So you have to multiply that, no? 25. This is additional. I'm just doing it and showing it to you. 25 or 5 into 5, 25, 5, 2 balance 47, 190. 5, 7, 3, 1, 2, sorry, 2. 23.75 watt. That is the amount of power used up in the variable resistor. And there is another area where power is used up. Where is that? Where is that? This is the power given by the battery. Headlamp is using some of that power. Starter motor is using some of that power. The variable resistor is using some of that power. Who else will use some of that power? Ammeter, no. Ammeter's resistance is 0, no. According to the question, they have told it's an ideal ammeter. I told you in the beginning, if it's an ideal ammeter, resistance is 0. Very good. the internal resistance of the battery. Internal resistance, in the internal resistance of the battery also some power will be lost. So you can say power dissipated in simple R, that is I squared simple R. So I squared is how much now, people? Careful. Current going through that is 8 ampere. So you have to say 8 squared into 0.75. That is 64 into 0.75, and that will be 48 watt. Now, if you add all these things, you will get 96. Add 18 and 48 is 66. Okay, 66 plus 6.25 and 23.75 is 30. So 66 plus 30, what is the total power dissipation? 96. Understood? Okay, this is what I was explaining all this time. I will write it. Power delivered by battery, because that is the energy source. So power delivered by battery, that should be equal to power dissipated in headlamp plus power dissipated in starter motor plus power dissipated in variable resistor plus power dissipated in internal resistance. So this is 96. On the right side, you have you add everything, 18 plus starter motor, where starter motor, yeah, 6.25 plus R 23.75 plus 48. Understand? Sometimes they will ask you to prove this.